So good afternoon to all. Still the fifth panel, the energy is still on. I request the audience to settle down, please, because you're going to have a very interesting panel today. The theme is Digital Innovations for One India. I come from startup community, the promoting startup culture in the country. I have seen a lot of growth in startup, especially in the sector of digital innovations. And I coined the term, digital innovation is infectious in nature. It is really infectious because everywhere you find now innovations happening digitally, be it public governance, social governance, be it health tech, fintech, edutech, everywhere. So I'll not waste much of time because we have got four interesting panel. I have talked to them earlier. With us, to my right, Sri H.K. Mittal. Let's welcome a big round of applause. Sri H.K. Mittal is the chairman of Startup Idea Seed Fund. I know him since last 14 years as the godfather of startup promotion called incubation ecosystem in the country. From earlier from DST Government of India, the former secretary of TDP Government of India, and still he is mentoring startup. I welcome you, sir, to this panel. Next to him, we have Sanjeev Kumar Gupta ji, and he is from the Karnataka Digital Economy Mission. I just met him. He said Karnataka is the #1 in innovation. And Mr. Sanjeev Gupta, he is the CEO of Karnataka Digital Economy Missions called KDEM, an initiative of the government of Karnataka. Mr. Gupta brings in more than 27 years of experience as an administrator, business leader, entrepreneur, mentor, and Indian IT growth facilitator. Very, very unusual characteristics. So I welcome you, Sanjeev Kumar Gupta ji, to this panel. Left to me, I have Sanjeev Malhotra ji, who is the CEO of, next to me is Dr. Rajkumar Upadhyay, who is the CEO of C. Dr. Rajkumar Upadhyay is the CEO of C. And the chairman of C. Project Board. He has a PhD in corporate strategy and policy from the Indian Institute of Management, Bangalore, and he is a alumni of IIM Bangalore's postgraduate program in public policy and management in 2014, and MTech from IIT Roorkee. He has won several awards, including J.C. Bose Award and many more. I welcome you, Upadhyay sir, to this panel. Next to him, we have Sanjeev Malhotra ji, because they're confusing, the two Sanjeevs are here. He is the CEO of IoT Center of Excellence at NASSCOM, having spent many years leading product development, strategy, and global operations in large and mid-sized companies. Sanjeev ji had an opportunity to lead multiple domains of SaaS, mobile internet softwares, e-commerce, and managed services, server and CPU technologies, IoTs, and many more connected devices. So I welcome you, sir, to this panel. So what I'll do, interest of time, I'll be basically the enablers of many of them, all of them are enablers of digital innovations in the country. I'll start with Sri Mittal ji, the question, and I'll be requesting them to each respond to it in 4 to 5 minutes each questions. Sri Mittal ji, you have seen the growth of innovation ecosystem in the country. You have seen from beginning, and still you see there is a growth happening. What is your message to this community who is sitting here, that how India has seen the growth in innovation ecosystem and how it is still going to go next further? Your response.
Thank you, Mrutyunjay. Thank you, Mighty Startup Hub, the organizers, for inviting me here this afternoon. I don't have to say this, but I'm an old man, so I have a lot of stories to share with you. In fact, let me begin by the story of India's IT progress. Let's do a little bit of time travel. The year is 1990, and our country has just 3 days of foreign exchange left to buy petroleum. Our economy would have come to a grinding halt after 3 days because we would not have had any petroleum. India was in a crisis situation. We had to pledge our gold to get some foreign exchange. And as you know, in India, pledging of gold is done only when a catastrophe hits the family. So that was the situation. We were in a really bad situation. And we had opening of the Indian economy. That was a compulsion which we had.
Hello.
Thank you. We were in a bad situation, and it is around that time when the Y2K problem hit the country. Not the country, the globe. I think those of you who are old enough would know what Y2K problem was. Our computers were programmed only till the year 1999. On the night of 31st of December, as the clock would strike midnight, all the computers would have stopped because they were not programmed for the next century. Now, hordes of Indian IT professionals were engaged to solve this problem because COBOL was the language which was being still used in India and all other countries had stopped using it. Hordes of Indian IT professionals went abroad to solve this problem. And with the result that now most of these IT professionals, they had a bicontinental strategy. They were familiar with how the business is done in two countries. Now, that was actually a change which brought about a lot of change in the mindset of the country. It was this time when world's confidence in our abilities to deliver was established. More importantly, our own confidence in our own abilities to deliver was established during this period. That was the beginning of the IT century, or I may say the digital innovations. Then I'll give you a small story. There was this youngster who was a young engineer studying in Northeast in one of the colleges, named Harjap Singh Maan. He wanted to be a startup, wanted to be an entrepreneur, but he did not know what to do. He came back to his hometown in Noida, near Delhi, and was searching for the problem to which he wanted to work on. He identified a problem which was in his own society, in his own residential complex. 5 to 6 vehicles would get stolen every month. 5 to 6 vehicles would get every month, and with the result, the real estate in that complex, the real estate prices in that complex were not going up. So, by an accident, he met the builder. The builder gave him this problem. Maan very confidently said that, yes, I can solve this. He had no clue as to how he's going to solve this problem. And then the owner was very excited. He said, yes, give me the solution. He said, no, not like this. I'll come with my team after 15 days. Maan had no team. In 15 days, he put together a team, put together a presentation, and gave it to that individual. And it was a simple solution based on RFID, which he gave to that builder. And as a result, they did a very simple solution: RFID tag on the vehicle, on the keychain, and a reader at the gate. It was an automatic system which was put in place. The problem stopped. The story is a little long. I'll have to cut it short in the interest of time. And he did several innovations, including employing deaf and dumb people as gatekeepers at the society. Maan became the largest employer of deaf and dumb people across the world. And he's done a remarkable business. It's both a social business and a commercial business. The initial offer he got was about 1 crore of rupees per month. That was his turnover to begin with. He's now moved into many other areas. There are many innovations, both digital and non-digital, which India is very proud to have. And I have been lucky in supporting some of these innovations, some of these incubators throughout my career with the government, now along with the government. Thank you. I'll stop here. Sorry if I have taken a little long. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Taldi, because the stories are important to tell here. Now I'll go to Sri Rajkumar Upadhyay ji. Upadhyay ji, you have been leading the CDOT, and we know that CDOT is engaged in a lot of innovations. How are you developing this? What interesting things you have developed? And how are you working with the state governments to deploy these digital innovations?
Thank you so much. It's a really great opportunity to be part of this panel. First of all, let me tell you, CDOT is the R&D arm of Department of Telecommunication. We do develop technologies like 4G, 5G, security, disaster management systems, network management system. So many technologies which are in the domain of telecom and security. One example I'll give, the 4G and 5G which we have developed along with Tata's is getting deployed in BSNL very, very soon. So as long as, you know, what we need is the theme is that the Honorable Prime Minister keeps telling that last आदमी तक हमें पहुंचना है. So digital inclusion for all, that is the theme. That the person who is sitting at the last also should get connected. And for that, what do you need? If you want to connect the last person on the pyramid, you need digital infrastructure. Even if you create digital infrastructure, that is also not enough. It should be affordable, it should be accessible. So therefore, there are a lot of schemes which government is working. I can just quote two schemes. The first scheme is the 4G saturation scheme. Like 4G has already reached in our country almost 99%. But still we have 25,000 villages where there is no connectivity at all. So Government of India funded a program, 25,000 crore program, under which all these 25,000 villages will be covered within next 1 year. The second scheme is, you know, now for example, if you take example of UPI, today we have 10 billion transactions of UPI every month. Last month, July, the statistics is we clocked 9.9 billion transactions and amounting to $184 billion of transactions. Now, internet in our country, with the population of 1.4, the internet penetration is only 860 million. So still there are 500 million people who are not getting these services, hence they cannot come to the mainstream. And therefore, these schemes, like I said, 4G saturation scheme, the BharatNet scheme. Under BharatNet scheme, just 2 days back, Cabinet approved a scheme of 1.3 lakh crore, under which the BharatNet will move to every village. Now, once it moves to the village, you know, fiber goes to the village, but the village cannot afford, since it is commercially not viable, the many entrepreneurs will not go there and put it to the households. Therefore, government came with a scheme called Bharat Udyami scheme. Under Bharat Udyami scheme, we are giving a subsidy of 4,480 rupees. If you take one connection from that fiber to the particular house, you get 4,484. So that the capex is reimbursed. Then the revenue generated from that house, 50% of the revenue goes to Udyami. So government is coming up with lot many schemes so that, you know, one is we take care of the capex infrastructure and we also take care of the final services. And whatever final service, anyway, the customers are ready to pay, but they are not ready to, nobody is ready to fund that capex part. The capex part is being funded by, we also work, as you said, working with the state governments. Yeah, we definitely work with most of the state governments in rolling out certain solutions. One of the solution we recently, you know, rolled out in Akola in Maharashtra, where we are saying even if you don't have fiber today, from air using a Wi-Fi unlicensed band, how I can drop a bandwidth up to 1 gigabyte. 1 gigabit per second bandwidth can be dropped. So we are working with Niti Aayog in promoting these health facilities, education facilities, these kind of facilities in these villages. And we have lined up approximately 70 to 100 startups with us working in different areas. Some are working in health tech, some are working in education, some are working in agriculture. So, and we have also many schemes where we fund the startups. We have three schemes primarily. The first scheme is DCIS. That is up to 5 crore we fund there in the DCIS scheme. We have second scheme CCRP. This is CDOT Collaboration Research Program, under which we have funded very recently two consortiums. We funded 75 crore each. Then we have a scheme called TTDF, Telecom Technology Development Fund. That is a scheme of 600 crore per annum. We have last call for proposal, we received around 400 proposals. Around 134 we have cleared. Again, the second round has been launched. If you look at the USOF website, the second call for proposal also is there. This time we have given certain areas where we want our country to go forward. Like for example, development of chips for Wi-Fi, development of chips for 5G, development of chips for mobile phones. So this is another call for proposal. We work with all the state government, and in fact, I have been meeting the state government principal secretaries, ITs, those who are handling the startups, so that this effort can be coherent and together we can solve the problem of this country. So thank you so much, and I'll come back for the next questions.
Thank you, Rajkumarji. It's an interesting thing because he told everything about all the schemes what CDOT is offering and enabling digital innovations in the country and reaching the last mile. Thank you for responding to those questions. I'll come to Sanjeev Gupta ji. Sanjeev ji, I think Karnataka is known for innovations, be it digital, be it deep tech. So what is the secret sauce of this? How would you put yourself number one? And what are your offerings to the other states to work to collaborative way?
Hello. Thank you so much for asking this question. How many are from Bangalore in the audience? Look here. This is called the power of the innovation which is happening around here. 95% is from Bangaloreans or Karnatakas here in the room. It's not because the event is in Bangalore. It's because the innovation happens in Karnataka. That's the people are here today. I would like to give you some statistics. Karnataka has been ranked #1 innovation by the DPIIT, by the Planning Commission, Niti Aayog, and all the indexes for the last many years. All of you know this, correct? Yes. All of you know that out of 100 unicorns which has born in India, 45 unicorns has born from Karnataka. Yes or no? The one statistic which I'm going to share with you, which you will not be aware about, out of $165 billion the startup has raised so far in India, 65 to $70 billion is raised by only Karnataka-based startups. This is the power. The first unicorn, the 50th unicorn, the 100th unicorn was born here. The one unicorn who converted into multiple own unicorns is also born from here. Why? Why it is happening? Why the Karnataka is the leader in innovation? And that goes 200 years back history. Around 1920s and 1930s, the Maharaja of Mysore, where we are sitting in this palace today, they invested on the talent and set up the world-class institutions. They called up the global industries to showcase their product. And what happens to that? You have Indian Institute of Sciences came up here. You have multiple institutions came up. When all the other states were setting up their own institutions of government-funded engineering colleges, degree colleges, Karnataka was the only state where only one engineering college was from the government, the rest all were from private. Private means at the mark of proficiency, at the mark of excellence. Because of that, you found the innovation coming in place from DRDOs, ISROs, from all the HALs, the BL, the BHELs. At that point of time, all these R&D centers came here because of that talent. And after this, ladies and gentlemen, we got the multinational companies waves coming in place. Now the another statistics. आप पूरे विश्व के 500 top companies को ले लो. The 500 Fortune companies. The 400 Fortune companies, those companies have their R&D center here in Karnataka and Bangalore. This is the power which has been done. So genetically, we Kannadigas, or the people who has moved from other places and become Kannadigas, like me, has actually considered this place as genetically founded of innovation, entrepreneurship, and etc. And when no one was talking about of the startups, Karnataka government came out with the first startup policy in India. First startup policy. When nobody was talking about of the VC funding, government of Karnataka came up with set up a Kitwin fund of 100 crores. Nobody. And the successful fund raised by them. Out of 90,000 plus startups in the country, 20,000 or 22,000 startups come from Karnataka. This is the power of this happens. Now friends, the secret sauce is, can you experiment 100 years of in the respective states? What we can do is we can expedite the process with the states. All the states are looking forward to how we can revolutionize the startup ecosystem. What you require is three important things that we are functioning upon. One is purely looking at industry which can give them a business opportunity. And here Karnataka offers that. I would request every other state to look at that level. The second one is the access to the capital and access to the mentorship. How do you create access to the capital? I'm so happy that Mr. Raji is here saying C-Dot will happily fund. And he was talking to me and sharing me that two of the big investors from 75 crores above, which has been funded by the C-Dot, is basically coming from Bangalore. So again, the story is replicating, but I would love to know that other states are also getting into it, more of the stuff, right? And for that to make it happen, you need to have an access to capital, you need to have an access to industry, which is market, you have an access to mentorship. We industry people in Karnataka especially feel that they are part of the government. They are not outsiders. They work with the government to design the initiatives. So they take ownership in giving the mentorship. Now this model is what is the unique, so-called the secret sauce of Karnataka's leading state. And Maharashtra, Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, every other state is doing great job, fantastic job. But maybe some of the lessons that we both can learn with each other and can help them to grow as well. I can keep on talking about Karnataka. I'll just pause here for a minute.
Thank you, Sanjeev ji. I think well said. Invest in platforms and build collaborative approach. Industry, policymakers, government all working together. Well said, Sanjeev ji. Now I come to the next Sanjeev ji, Sanjeev Malhotra ji, is from NASSCOM. I think all of you know NASSCOM is building a lot of center of excellence and also working heavily in the digital innovations. So the question to you, Sanjeev ji, how NASSCOM is enabling this whole innovation ecosystem digital format and also providing some solution to the industries. Any interesting examples you want to share with the audience?
Sure. Thank you. My job has been made easier. Sanjeev ji has already woken up everybody, I think. With it. So, we are an organization which has been set up between, as a collaboration between MITI, which is the Central Ministry of Electronic and IT, along with the state government. And we have set up 4 centers of excellences across the country, and our hub is Bangalore, for the obvious reasons that Sanjeev ji just mentioned. Bangalore is a natural tech capital of the country, and probably we can say for the world also. And our mandate has been to bring more innovation in the emerging technologies. When we say emerging technologies, you know, we hear all these words like IoT, AI, AR, VR, robotics, blockchain, and so on. Now, the products that you see actually are not made of one technology. It's amalgamation of all the technologies. Very rarely you say this product is only this tech or that tech. Typically, a product will have many technologies into it, and that's what a job of a product is, to actually solve a problem, provide a solution to a particular use case or to some organization, be it in healthcare or be it in manufacturing or in logistics or any other domain. Our effort has been, you know, first of all, we opened first of its kind of lab in the country in 2016, which was providing facilities to the startups to work in the lab equipment at a pretty easy access and without any cost. So that was the starting point for us. But over a period of time, our effort has been, you know, how to take these products to the market, how to do lab to market type of an effort, how to make enterprises and startups work together. So our platform has been the largest platform for startups and the industries to work together as a win-win. You know, industry is looking for solutions which benefit them, and startups are coming up with solutions which are not available anywhere else, and they're looking for customers also. So we have been working tirelessly into making these organizations work together. Now, let me give you an example. While large companies are able to bring a lot of solutions on board, they have resources. But it is important that the SMEs of the country actually get equipped with the latest technology. And they cannot afford the latest technology that is available around the world, buying it from different parts of the world, either in Germany or USA or any other country outside. That's where, our startup ecosystem has, I would say, done a wonderful job, have grown significantly from last 5 to 7 years to where it is now. And I would say it's a viable alternative for all the solutions that industry needs. And if I talk about SMEs, they need solution, for example, in quality control, which allows them to become more competitive. It has been a manual effort so far. But using the computer vision solution, many SMEs now have affordable solution, which are homegrown solution. What we call Make in India. I mean, these homegrown solutions are actually being adopted by the SMEs, and where we are helping them to adopt it, and comes at a very reasonable cost. Then there is energy management. That's a lot of SMEs are wanting to save cost. So these solutions for energy management, is something that allows these SMEs to save cost and be more efficient. And similarly, there are a lot of other things where a lot of SMEs are actually trying to get onto the digital journey. So far, they've been using all this pen and paper for recording all their production and so on. And getting onto the complete digital logbook for entire factory is something now a lot of SMEs have started doing, and it's all happening with homegrown solutions. So that's the beauty of it. And these solutions are being developed from every part of the country, right? Be it some of them are from Gurgaon, some in Chennai or Pune, Hyderabad, and Bangalore, of course, has the largest contribution to it. But we have good work being done in every part of the country, and that's the good news. And I believe we will have more of such adoptions and more such startups coming up.
Thank you, Sanjeev ji. I think he mentioned about how NASSCOM is basically working with the SME industries, providing them solutions in the space of digital innovations. Now I'll come because everybody talked about Karnataka. Somebody says, Sanjeev says number one in innovation, but there is one we want to get something from Sri Mittalji, who has been seeing the innovations in the whole country and beyond the country. Sir, what do you think? Apart from Karnataka, let's say Hyderabad, Bangalore, Pune and all, Tier 2, Tier 3 cities are also basically engaged in innovations, not only digital, but also deep tech. What is your message to all of us that how you have seen Tier 2, Tier 3 is playing a bigger role now to bring innovations in the country?
I think the organizers are being partial with me. My mic gets switched on and off regularly, but doesn't matter. I'll not give up. So you asked me a question, what is happening in the Tier 2 and Tier 3 towns? I think there's a conscious effort of the government, both the central government and the state governments, to focus on cities which are less developed, which have missed the attention or were not the center of attention. I think now there's a key shift, and it is the Tier 2 and Tier 3 towns now who have number of incubators, number of enabling mechanisms, mentors, investors. This is an entire ecosystem which is being created in Tier 2 and Tier 3 towns. And innovation is not only limited to the metros, the major cities. It is also now available in the tier 2 and Tier 3 towns. I intentionally gave you a story from Northeast, Silchar, about Harjap Singh Maan, because that is where he had his entire education, that's where he had his entire career. But he finally settled in Noida, near Delhi, where he's taken up his startup. Similarly, today I see that a lot of women, a lot of young girls who have come up, and they are taking this route of innovation and entrepreneurship. He is valued at about $800 million today. He has about 1,000 employees, and out of which I think About 800 of them are based here in Bangalore, and 200 of them are based in US. As a youngster, he was not allowed to register his company in India because he was not 18 years of age. He had to face multiple problems because of his age. I shared his story with the board of directors of World Bank long back, and they asked me a question, Mr. Mittal, what does it take to get Suhas Gopinath to speak to our board? So I said it takes 2 business class tickets from India to Washington, D.C. They asked me, why 2 business class tickets? I said, we don't send our children alone. He'll need to have some escort, some senior responsible person. So anyway, they invited Suhas, and also he was made to join their board, the World Bank board. And many interesting incidents happened with Suhas. He would go to attend that meeting, and he would be kept at the gate. The security won't allow him inside. He said they would say that visiting hours are from such time to such time, because they would think that he's a student and he's come to visit the World Bank. And similarly, okay, I think we are heading towards the evening. So let me tell you a very interesting anecdote. Both me and Suhas, we were invited to speak at a college in Andhra Pradesh. That day particularly, and Suhas was a young fellow, maybe about 18, 19 years of age. That day I saw that there is a crowd of about 2,000 people, out of which 1,800 were young girls. And Suhas had some other meeting, so he spoke first, and he sat down and he left for the other meeting. Immediately after Suhas left, 1,800 of those young girls also left after Suhas. So I was left to speak with about 100 of those old faculty members. Next time I made sure that I speak before Suhas when we were speaking at a different. No, that's also the power of innovation. Whereas a young fellow is appreciated. In fact, the country today, the world today appreciates these young people, and they are. Suhas, by chance, are you there? No, he's not there. I think I have many interesting stories like this, but I think let's move on. Let's move on.
Thank you, Mittal sir. I think because we don't have much of time, 10, 12 minutes more, I'll go straight to Sanjeev Gupta ji. Gupta ji, you talked about Karnataka, always in innovations. Being the CEO of KDEM, what interesting mission programs you have brought in, which has really led the digital growth of Karnataka state? Some interesting stories to tell to the audience.
Sir, I will request my senior from the bureaucracy also, sir, he's a great inspiration for us. We don't use word tier 2 or tier 3. Full stop for these words. These words are looked down. We call them as emerging tech cities. Look up. These are the terminologies, first of all, we have identified for all the cities like Mysuru, Mangaluru, Hubli, Dharwad, Belgaum, Tumkur. These are my emerging tech cities, number 1. Number 2, sir, we are trying to come out with a concept called as democratization of entrepreneurship. That means the entrepreneurship should reach to the grassroots level, and from there it should go bottom up. How do we create that? If we create hubs in Bangalore or in Chennai or in Hyderabad or in Gurgaon, that's not going to change the color of the emerging tech cities. We need to go back to the doorstep and knock it and give them the service that they need. What service they need? And how do we create an ecosystem? So under the academic institutions, our NAINS program is trying to come out from an idea into a student funnel. And at this level, we have hundreds of institutions which are just coming out with ideas in the student. Then we fund, from a government perspective, we fund up to rupees 50 lakhs to convert idea to POC as a grant, not even equity. So once an idea to POC is converted with a grant, and then we set up KTech Innovation Center across the state. So that means the incubation center is available for them to convert into the POC and idea. But now from idea, they need to go for scale up. How do you go for scale up business? There was a missing feed. There are three things which are missing. One, a fund which can make them available for them at the grassroots level. The grant is available to convert the POC, but how do we create a fund? So recently we have come out with called as a cluster seed fund. That means a startup in Mysuru can avail the Mysuru cluster seed fund, a Mangaluru cluster seed fund, a Hubli, Belgaum, Dharwad cluster seed fund. That means you need not to come to Bangalore for VCs, A. Secondly, we create a program called as Beyond Bangalore, under which created a Beyond Bangalore means creating more Bangalores outside Bangalore. So we're creating that, and they've got VC to go to, and we take them quarterly to the VCs, to the respective towns, and the top 10 starters from that every quarter pitch. The condition is the VCs has to then and there sign something. And that's the way that the momentum is building up. Having said this, then the accelerators, which can take the startups to a next level in scale of the business. We are not setting up the one accelerator hub here and everybody should come here and done this. Many other states does that. We don't do this. What we do is a Karnataka accelerator network. That means some very mature accelerators from Bangalore, some potential accelerators in the emerging tech cities, they combine together, make a network. And then the accelerator program is done across them. Then what we're also trying to put together is that you have these institutions and the HNIs at the local level should become the investors. How can a Tata showroom player in a tier 2 city, so to say, sir, they can become the investor? We are trying to put together a model where the fund, that cluster seed fund, 30% of the capital comes from the HNIs. They will learn how to invest. In next 4 to 5 years, this model of democratization of entrepreneurship will be a proven model where you will find that the starters from the communities, our Honorable Prime Minister talked on the 15th of August, just 2 days back, saying that the starters and the economy, which is going to grow up, is going to be coming out from these emerging tech cities, not limited to only the 6-7 towns in India. And that is going to happen. Last but not least is, we ourselves gave ourselves mark. We were talking about of 5% of state GDP should come from startup. So tell me which state is talking about of this number. We promising ourselves. And we need to prove ourselves that we are going to deliver that. The only thing that can be delivered is with a very strong partnership of the model that we are trying to put together. And I'm happy this is one which is giving some success. Thank you.
Hello, hello. Yes, I think well said. Democratization of the startup world, the entrepreneurship world, very well said. And also, they're involving everyone, all stakeholders to make it happen. Thank you for this. I think we have 5 minutes more. I'll come to Rajkumar Upadhyay, the C-Dot head, the chairman. Sir, I think the digital landscape offers a plethora of opportunities. And could you please give us some inspiring examples that how digital innovations can be leveraged to bridge the regional disparities? Any interesting examples, maybe 2 to 3 minutes.
Thank you so much. I think the first, we developed many technologies which are used for, bridging this digital divide and also, making some gains in terms of, I'll give you first technology what we developed. I think that you can try right now. I encourage all the participants to try themselves. Please log into sancharsathi.gov.in. sancharsathi.gov.in, or you Google Sanchar Sathi, you will get it. What does the portal do? It solves many problems, but I'll mention 2 problems. Problem number 1 is stolen mobile phone. Many snatching of mobile phones cases were happening. And therefore, we developed a portal under Sanchar Sathi. In that, there is a citizen-centric service. You click lost mobile phone. You just put your IMI number. If you can't put your IMI number, police can put your IMI number. And we will tell you where your phone is. And Karnataka is the leading state. I think I must compliment it. We launched this service in May, and Karnataka already recovered 10,000 phones. 7,500 phones were recovered in Bangalore. 2,500 phones were recovered in Hubli. This is the lost mobile phone application which helps. Second, in your Aadhaar number, how many connections are there, you can see in this portal. You put your mobile number, it will tell you for your Aadhaar number how many connections are there. So, and you can block it there itself. Even when we launched this service, I tried my number. I also had an extra number on my Aadhaar which was not belonging to me. I disconnected it. Just to give you an example of the lost stolen mobile phone, we have already recovered 3 lakh phone after launching just a month back. Aadhaar, almost 9 lakh connections we have disconnected, which were not actually, which were used by anybody else's Aadhaar. The third thing is we have, using AI, we looked at all 114 crore database, and we found there are fraud connections because of cyber fraud problems. Because what the cyber fraud guys do, they will take SIM, make 100 call, bury it. Make SIM, make 100 call and bury it. We used AI and we have disconnected 66 lakh phones after the launch. 66 lakh phones we have disconnected. We got their WhatsApp disconnected. We got their Facebook disconnected, Instagram connected, and we have frozen their bank accounts also. Because the cyber fraud was going in a big way. So these 3 applications, you can try it yourself. The other thing which from the rural side, the top application which I will think is this. We install a small box. I will not talk to what is this box. A box is installed in the block. And from the block, using our BharatNet fiber, it goes to the villages. So one block serves around maybe 500 villages, 400 villages. It will go to all the villages, and in that village to the population. They can get all education classes, audio lectures, video lectures, books without internet. They can see 100 TV channels without internet. They can listen to 20 audio channels without internet. So this is another innovation, because why it was done, when we started during COVID time education classes, villagers wanted education classes, but the net was not supporting. Backhaul was not strong. And therefore this idea came, why don't you put every content at the block headquarter, which is required. Books don't change, audio lectures don't change, online classes don't change, yoga class, skill class, everything is in the block. And from the block, it goes to the villages and distributed there free of cost. The only thing required is you need a Wi-Fi interface. It could be a phone, it could be a TV, it could be a laptop, it could be a tablet. So this is, I think for the shortage of time, I will not talk about. One more thing I will say, disaster management system which we developed is operational already in 36 UTs and states. Earlier you used to hear when the cyclone used to come, thousands of lives used to go. Now the life, for example, Odisha is one state which is using it perfectly. The lives lost in Odisha is now 0 because of this disaster management system. It is a targeted geo system. It will send messages only to those people who are affected. It is geo-targeted, geo-fenced application. Automatically using AI, it finds out where the cyclone is coming and who are the people. It picks up the number present there. You may be coming from Karnataka, you may be come from Israel. If you are present there, you will get that message. So I think there are many applications. In the paucity of time, I won't take many. Thank you.
Thank you, Rajkumar sir, for pointing out everything from the magic box to disaster management. Thank you for that, for bringing CDOT to all of us. So the last questions to Sanjeev Malhotra ji. The last question, that NASSCOM is only in Bangalore, or basically you are in other states, reaching to the states where I think you are contributing, working with the state government and bringing NASSCOM in the forefront to digital innovations area.
Right. No, we do work with states. It's important to take these innovations that are happening in Bangalore, happening in Gurgaon and Pune to places where it can make an impact. So there are many programs that we run, especially in the healthcare space. We have, not many people know what good work is happening, but in these startups, there is a device which has been made in Bangalore, which can do an eye test for glaucoma, and it has got an AI built into it. It is made in Peenya here in Bangalore, and it is one of its kind of device in the world, which is a portable device, and it is very useful for people in villages. Glaucoma is a disease which can actually render people blind and take away the livelihood of people. But it is curable if it is found early on, right? And this device, which is made in Bangalore, we have deployed in a couple of places around the country, in AIIMS, in Punjab, in Andhra Pradesh, and so on. So there are similar devices like that which have early detection of cervical cancer. Right, this is a device which actually uses AI for detection of cervical cancer, because by the time people come to doctor, it is too late. And this device actually enables somebody who's a paramedic to use this device in a village through AI can actually detect cervical cancer early at the early stage. So there are devices like this where we are working with the state governments in deploying these things in what we call low resource settings. And that increases the awareness. Not only it provides advantages, our job is making sure a lot of people know about it and they can actually scale it up in their state. So that is what we are doing. This is just one example, but then we do it in other areas also. But for respect for time, I'll just listen.
Thank you, Sanjeev ji. I think that's good to know. NASSCOM is basically also expanding its operation in the low resource area, the low resource settings areas. And I think we have come to an end. It's already 5 o'clock. I thank the esteemed panelists for giving your time in this session of digital innovations for One India. I thank MSS, MAITI, everyone, the organizing committee of this for setting up such a wonderful session here. Thank you. Thank the audience having patience listening to all the panelists. And let's work together to build a new India which is more digitally, more vibrant. Thank you.
And on that note of optimism, I'd like to invite the moderator as well as the panelists to launch the white paper, the final white paper of the day. This is on the circular economy. If all our dignitaries on the dais could help launch this. This is the one which will be launched right now. If you can hand it over to all the panelists on stage. India's digital revolution, unlocking transformation towards a more sustainable living. You will find this QR code in your conference kit. In case you want details, you can download right from there. The ribbons are off, the launch is on. It's been a wonderful panel session as well. May we hear it for all the panelists? For all the takeaways that have come from this panel, I'd also request Dr. Mrityunjay to hand over mementos after this to all the panelists. First to Shri Harkesh Mittal, Chairman, Startup India Seed Fund Farmer Program. To Dr. Rajkumar Upadhyay, CEO of CDOT. To Shri Sanjeev Kumar Gupta, CEO, Karnataka Digital Economy Mission. To another gentleman with the same first name, to Shri Sanjeev Malhotra, CEO, IoT Center of Excellence, NASSCOM. Thank you so much. Thanks indeed for being with us at the DIA Summit. It's now time to hear a speaker who is joining us virtually